It was a hot Sunday afternoon, and I had just come back from grocery shopping. The sun was blazing, so I figured I'd relax by the pool. You see, I live in a private community where I own the pool in my backyard. It's not shared property. But because I'm a nice neighbor, I've occasionally let a few trusted families use it, with permission. That's when things started to go downhill. A few weeks ago, I noticed unfamiliar kids splashing around in my pool while I was away. One of them was loud and rude, blasting music on a speaker and tossing soda cans on my lawn. I later found out he was Karen's son. You know the type, entitled, nosy, always talking about HOA rules like she wrote them herself. But here's the twist. My house isn't even under the HOA. Still, Karen acts like she runs the entire block. She once knocked on my door demanding I remove a non-approved patio umbrella. I told her then nicely that my property was not governed by her HOA. She didn't like that. Fast forward to this weekend, I decided I'd had enough. I installed a security lock on the pool gate and put up a sign, "Private property, no trespassing." That same afternoon, I caught Karen's teenage son trying to hop the pool fence with two of his friends. I stepped outside. Me. "Hey, you don't have permission to be here. Step away from the pool." Him. "My mom says I can use it. It's part of the HOA amenities." Me. "Well, your mom is wrong. This is my private pool. It's not HOA property, and you're trespassing." He huffed, pulled out his phone, and said the most ridiculous thing I've heard all year. "I'm calling 911. You're not allowed to lock community amenities." I laughed. "Go ahead." Sure enough, the police showed up 10 minutes later. Karen was already standing at the corner, arms crossed, looking smug like she just won a court case. The officer walked over and asked me if I owned the property and the pool. I handed him my deed and showed him the camera footage of the teens trying to jump the locked gate. Karen interrupted, "But the pool has always been used by neighborhood kids. It's community spirit." The officer calmly replied, "Ma'am, this property is privately owned. It is not under your HOA. Your son and his friends were trespassing." Karen's face went pale. The officer turned to her son and said, "Son, calling 911 over being denied access to someone's private pool is misuse of emergency services. That's a serious matter." Then he looked back at me and said, "You're well within your rights to lock your pool. In fact, I'd recommend pressing charges if this happens again." Karen tried to argue, but her voice cracked. Her son just stood there looking like he wanted to vanish into the ground. Before leaving, the officer gave Karen a warning about parental responsibility and reminded her that trespassing, even by minors, is still a legal issue. Since then, not a single peep from Karen or her son. The sign is still up, the gate is locked, and peace has returned.